Hello and welcome, I'm DDF Racer, and today I'm going to be unboxing and installing my brand new custom Logitech G29 steering wheel from ANSE3D. Now you may have heard of ANSE3D before. It's the same guy who made the magnetic paddle shifter mod for my G29. But a few weeks ago he approached me with the idea of a custom 3D printed rim for my Logitech G29 as well, which isn't really something I considered before, but hey, it's hella cool, so yeah, let's give it a go. Now, according to the specs on the website, it is an F1 style open sim wheel for Logitech G29 with 3D printed plate and handles, real suede wrapped handles, carbon fiber vinyl wrap center plate, painted accents and buttons, with a 280mm wheel diameter and extra strength with 8 screws holding everything together. Tools not included. Now you can add your own logo, you can have it in exactly what colors you want, and you can have the buttons in whatever colors you want. And this thing basically replaces the fascia that you have on your standard G29 wheel. Now you can also get them for G920s and G27s, but because I've got a G29, that's what I'm replacing it with, obviously. Now I've got no idea how to install this thing. I haven't looked at the README. I don't know how this is going to unfold over the course of this video, so bear with me guys. I don't normally do unboxing videos. I have done a Fanatec pedal unboxing video, which you can find a link to on top of the screen right now, and I also did a video for the magnetic paddle shifters, which I'll put a link on top of the screen right now as well. But yeah, I'm pretty much just going to kind of make it up as I go along with this one. And I'm just going to be opening boxes, so if you're coming here for a race, this probably isn't the video for you, but if you just want to hang out and see what's inside this box, then grab yourself a cup of tea and let's get stuck in. Or a coffee, or a beer, or a fruit juice, or anything. The first thing that I've noticed about this box is it makes a very good sound. Now I know that's not a good measure of any kind of sim racing hardware, but I just thought it was worth pointing that out. Whatever ANSE3D have put in the packaging in this box is really good. It makes a good sound. It's like a proper cajon. So, moment of truth. Now, I just want to make this very clear for the video. I have not opened this box. The sticky tape all over it there. I have not opened this thing. I haven't even seen a photo of it from when it was being manufactured. So I've got no idea what it looks like. I know what the template looks like, and I know what other people's wheel looks like, but I've not seen it with the DDF logo and the orange on it. Yes, I have gone and got a DDF logo on the front of it. I've been waiting for this all day. I wanted to take a peek in at the office, but I've restrained because I wanted my genuine reaction on this video. I wanted to be able to see it for the first time with you guys. Got some paper in here, so let's move this paper out of the way. There's some more paper in here. It is very lightweight. Here we go. It's like Christmas. Oh, look at this. How cool is that? How cool is that? Oh my days. A single seater style rim for all of my sim racing needs. Wow, that feels very nice. It's very lightweight as well. That's not like the leather on the G29. This is proper suede. I might have to invest in some gloves for this one, guys. I should probably go and look at some instructions and see how to fit this thing to my wheel. Okay, so let's have a look at the instructions then. So, I need to remove the 6 screws from the back, remove the 6 hex screws from the front, unplug the wire harness from the board, remove the screws that hold the board to the front cover, lift the board away from the cover, remove the screws that hold the left and right buttons, and then I need to remove the 2 screws that hold the rim to the front cover and slowly lift it off. Put the board back on, plug the harness back in, put the front cover back on, make sure that this little button on the top is lined up, use the 6 screws to pop it back into place. And yeah, just test it and make sure that the buttons aren't triggering constantly. And if they are, just loosen off these screws on the front. Time to get some tools, because like I said in the intro, tools are not included in this thing. You gotta supply them yourself. Okay, so I've got my tools and I'm ready to go. First and foremost, when you do anything like this, make sure you turn it off and unplug it. You don't need to be messing around with electronics while it's still connected and still live, so completely disconnect it. Let's get started. Be very careful not to drop these, because I'm going to need them later to put the wheel back into position again. And there's number 6. So that's the screws off the back. Now let's get the ones off the front. Quite big ones, these ones. Just got to hold the wheel with one hand, stop it from rotating while I take the screws out. Okay. Be very careful. There we go. There's the front. Let me just angle this down a bit so you can see what's going on a bit more. So there you have the wheel. Need to unplug the wire harness from the board. There we go, it's off. And that is what the back of a G29 steering wheel looks like. I need to get this off and put that on the new wheel. There we go. Very gently. I now need to remove the screws that hold the left and right buttons on. Yep, these are these. The little R2, L2 and all those. That makes sense. It's just very fiddly, that's all. And it's not something that you could do very quickly. You know, if you want to change your wheels from open wheel to, you know, full wheel again. I don't know what the name of the phrase is, full wheel, I guess. But if you want to change between them, it's not going to be a quick process. So if you're going to do rallying or drifting with 900 degrees of rotation, then you're going to have to think in advance and change your wheel in advance. It's not going to be a quick process. This ain't no Fanatec quick release system, that's for sure. Okay, time to remove the rim from the cover. This one's not coming out. I think this may be threaded. Yeah, look, it's not coming anyway. It's not coming out. I have to get some pliers on this. There we go. Easy as. Came straight out, but that is definitely stripped. Okay, so remove this slowly and then put this onto the board that we just replaced. Okay, I get it now. That's an empty G29 steering wheel. The whole thing's coming apart now. Okay, let's pop the board back on. There we go. So we now have the guts of the wheel, basically. So this is exactly what you need to run a G29. So now the custom rim goes over the top of it. This goes in here, and that goes over the front. That is... oh, that looks so weird. It's like the whole thing without the... it's missing. The wheel's gone. There we go. I think that's the ones in the back done. Now let's pop the ones back on the front. I'm expecting like a Darth Vader kind of like sound when it goes on here now. And something I've just noticed, by the way, in the instructions it doesn't tell you to remove this little bit of plastic. It provides a nice little fascia for the buttons. It's a bit exposed otherwise. There we go, that's more like it. Let's put the screws in the front, very gently for now, and on opposing corners to equally spread the tension throughout the wheel. You don't want to tighten up one corner and then it's going to be loose on the other. It's going to put unnecessary stress throughout the rim. Now the instructions say not to tighten them too much, because then it could basically fault trigger the buttons. Yes, that feels great! And it's very lightweight as well, actually. That's one of the first things I've realised. It feels very, very lightweight. I might actually be able to feel a bit more force feedback through this now. Well, I guess that's the manual assembly part of things done. Let's go and plug it in and see if it works. Oh, that feels so completely different to anything that I've had before. And one added benefit of this, actually, I'll bring it up on my phone so you can see. Previously, the bottom of my screen was obscured by the rim, whereas now it's got this nice cutout feature to it, and I don't have to sort of peer over the top of my wheel anymore. It's great! So time for a little size comparison, and let's switch it over to phone cam. So you can see here, I've got the old wheel in place where it would be. Let's move it out of the way. Look how much low profile that is now. That's just amazing in terms of screen space. Let's put it back on again. You can see, look, that obscures my screen. When I'm doing my editing, I have to kind of look over the top like that, whereas now, no such problems. Yeah, don't at me in the comments for my management on the cables, guys. Now, I think the only appropriate place to test this out is Race Room. Especially considering we've just done a Formula 2 at Red Bull Ring Enduro combo there. So let's go and jump back into something I'm familiar with and see how it feels different. Let's bring it out the pits, the first turn. Oh! That has completely changed the way the force feedback feels. Because the wheel is so much lighter. I don't know. I'm not quite sure how to describe it yet, but it just feels completely different. When I'm changing gears, I can feel the pull in the wheel more. The smaller details have become a lot more apparent. Like, let me just do a few more corners and get used to it. Wow, yeah, you can definitely feel the curbs a lot more, the vibration. And because of the open nature of the steering wheel, I'm a lot more conscious of my steering angle. Like, one of the biggest crimes that you can do as a racing driver, or a sim racing driver actually, is to scrub the front wheels. So there is a point where... Oh! Oh! Didn't quite put it in the fence. There is a point in the car where you just turn and more steering doesn't help you. The tyres are just scrubbing along the front. And it's quite easy to overlook that with the round style wheel, I've realised, because you just, you know, crank it in a bit more. Whereas this, you really have to put your hand over. Wow, this is completely different. This is going to take a little bit of getting used to, actually. Yeah, you physically have to put your hand all the way over. And you become a lot more aware of just exactly how much steering you're putting in. Now, I will say that normally I race in VR, and I'm doing this on a pancake monitor to basically just so I can see the wheel, and so you can see my face as well. When I do these reaction videos, these unboxing videos, it's more of a, you know, it's not so much about the racing and the actual driving and the lap times. It's about the expressions on my face, because this is seriously so cool. I've got a wheel with my own logo on it for a G29. This isn't Fanatec. I haven't spent hundreds of dollars on this. The assembly isn't exactly straightforward. You have to be careful with what you're doing, otherwise you might snap a bit of plastic or break the cable, so you really have to watch what you're doing. This just takes it to a whole other level, and it's great for me personally because I do like to race a lot of single-seaters. Especially in iRacing. I'm doing my Skip Barbers and my USF 2000s at the moment. My R Factor 2 Virtual Endurance Championship. I'm driving an LMP2 prototype, which has got a steering wheel that's very similar to this. Most GT cars have got steering wheels that are very similar to this. It just feels really cool. And yeah, like I said, the feedback is much more transmissible because there's less inertia in the steering wheel. There's much less weight for it to go through. Let's check the pit stop works. Yep. Pit stop buttons work. Perfect. What time is it?
Sorry mate, I didn't catch that.
Yep, crew chief is working. And he still doesn't understand me, so business as usual. But I can check the D-pad on the pit menu. Let me do that very quickly. There we go. Yep, that's cool. The only thing I will say is that the directional pad and the PlayStation or Xbox buttons, depending on which version of the wheel you've got, are now a little bit sunken. You can't just sort of like run your finger across the top of them to find them. They are kind of recessed into the wheel. I'll take a picture and I'll put that on the screen now to show you what I mean. That will take a little bit of getting used to. But that's not the end of the world. The LEDs still come through. It feels very secure. There is a little bit of flex in the handles, but it's not a direction you'd normally sort of turn the wheel in. Like if you kind of pull and push the wheel like that, as if you've got a Mercedes DAS system, there is a little bit of flex there, but you shouldn't normally be pulling your wheel like that unless you're getting really excited. It does feel a little bit flimsy in that respect. It's not horizontal, it's not vertical. What's that direction? Backwards and forwards direction. There's a word for it. Longitudinal? I don't know. Answers in the comments, guys. You know what I mean. I clearly don't. The suede is nice. It's starting to rub off on my hands already, I can see. Got little black patches where my calluses normally are, because I've built up quite a resistance, as you can see. So that's starting to come off. I might have to wear some gloves, otherwise I'm going to look like a chimney sweep of some description. But this is seriously cool, guys. I never thought I'd have anything like this without spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on something that's like in the Fanatec ecosystem. You know, getting a belt-driven wheel or a direct drive wheel with all these quick release systems and hubs and all that kind of stuff, or maybe not Fanatec, maybe some other brand, but just, you know, it's expensive stuff. And if you don't have the money to buy that kind of stuff but you still want to treat yourself, this is a great alternative, because it really does change your perception of how you drive. Like G27, G25, G29, they're all round. And the majority of cars in sim racing, your GT cars, your Formula cars, your prototype cars, they don't have round wheels. Yeah, sure, things like your rallies and your classics and your NSUs and all that kind of stuff, that's more of a round wheel situation. But for the majority of what I do, this is a lot better. And I love the little thumb rests on the wheel as well. It's not great for changing gears because I haven't got quite the long enough fingers to reach around. Maybe for someone with bigger hands this would be better. Oh, the old race room one more lap problem strikes again. It's never one more lap, it's never one more corner. Okay, this really is going to be the last lap now. Let's see what I can do. Let's see if I can get to the 1 minute 15s. Finish it with style. Match our quali pace. There we go, nearly half a second up already. And blew it all. Okay, well the last lap was better, but I lost a stack of time on turn 3. If we can nail that, we might get our 1 minute 15. Oh, it's going to be close. I think we might just do it. What have we got? 1 minute 15.77. That will do nicely. ANSE3D custom wheel. Oh, you're treating me nicely so far. Guys, honestly, this is just surpassed all of the expectations that I had. I had pretty high expectations for it, but when I first got out of the box and I just saw the logo looking at me, I was like, wow, that's so cool. And then fitting it to the wheel was a bit stressful with all the cables and the bits of plastic all over the place, but we got there in the end. And taking it out on track, it just completely transforms the way the wheel feels. Like, it feels so much more responsive, it feels so much more nimble, like I feel like I can react quicker. It feels like I am a lot more conscious of my inputs, particularly the steering angle, which is a big one for tyre longevity in the longer races. But it's the cool factor more than anything else. I mean, yeah, I could just put my G29, where is it? I could just go and put my G29 wheel back on and have done with it and just run stock standard. And it's quite heavy, actually, now I think about it. It's really cool, real sturdy, but it's quite heavy. But this is just... it just brings a whole new lease of life into some equipment that, let's be honest, can get a little bit generic over time. Nothing against Logitech, the hardware is fantastic. You know, I've had a G25, a G27 and a G29. They're the only wheels I've ever used, and they're the only wheels I've ever had to use because they're just so solid. They just work, and the hardware is really dependable. The software, maybe not so much, especially recently. Sorry Logitech, it's got to be said. All the new drivers are just not really up to standard. All the software issues are not great. But the hardware is fantastic. And this... wow. It just brings a whole new lease of life into it. And I'm very, very grateful for ANSE3D sending this over to me. And if you want to get hold of one of these wheels yourselves, then I'll put a link in the video description to ANSE3D's website. And you can even use a special code, DDF5, which gives you 5% discount on all of your orders, whether it's this custom rim, or the magnetic paddle shifters mod, or even some of the circuit art they do as well. But that's pretty much it. ANSE3D are slowly taking over my setup with the magnetic clicky paddle shifters, and now the custom wheel as well. So you can expect to see this in my upcoming races and live streams. And I, for one, can't wait to use it, especially the USF 2000 and Skippy races in iRacing. So if you want to see those, make sure you subscribe to the channel and press the notification button. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave it a like and share your thoughts in the comments. If you've got any questions, please feel free to let me know. I'll answer them as best I can. If you're interested in getting one of these, I'd love to help you out. If you've got one of these and want to share your experience, then let me know as well. I'd love to hear from you, basically. But until I do put this into action in my races, you should look after yourselves. Take care. And I'll see you all again real soon. Thanks for watching.